Can you text anybody that's up there?
Great idea, not so fast. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I'm with the IdeaPros marketing team. And I'm going to try to get Fred Cary over here with us. And hopefully I've unmuted him because he started talking right when I went live.
Well, I am here to talk.
That's true. And you're really good at it. So we're going to talk about our favorite thing, ideas. Great ideas, no less. But Fred, what's the beginning step? Yeah, exactly. I can't talk today. You guys, it's Friday before a holiday, so you know how it goes. This is Fred Cary, CEO of IdeaPros. I'm the marketing director at IdeaPros, and we're here to talk about ideas. So, Fred, what do you want to share with us? Because I know it's not just about having a great idea. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of go through the process of an idea, what makes an idea a good idea, a great idea, if anything, and the other things that you need to consider that are even more important than the idea. And I think that this is one of the things that we see over and over again, whether somebody partners with us or not. Usually when they show up, people are really focused on their idea a lot more than they're focused on the market. You know, what is the market? What's the size of the market? Who are the competitors? Who are the customers? What do they want? Is the market growing? All those things. When we first interview potential partners, it's very common that we get a lot of this. And the reality is those things are even more important, and I'll explain why. So, shall I just go ahead, Tessa?
I think you should, because I have no idea. Fred's going to surprise me with all of these pieces. So yeah, go for it.
Tessa likes to have 3 or 4 sections to talk about, and she asked me for some, and I said no.
We're going to wing it, is what he said. So we're winging it, guys. But as we're winging it, let us know in the comments if you're with us live, #live, and let us know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions as Fred goes through this, I know we have a lot of people, first-time entrepreneurs or first-time new entrepreneurs in a new area for an idea. So go ahead, Fred, take it away.
Okay. So as I was saying, a lot of people have this idea, they think it's amazing, and they want to come in and talk about doing something with it, or on their own. It doesn't have to be through IdeaPros, for God's sakes. The reality is that most of the time when people are thinking of this new idea, it's because they have a personal issue, right? And so many of our entrepreneurs that we have partnered with have had this thing that's bothered them, that has affected them personally, and so they have spent sometimes months, sometimes weeks, sometimes years talking to all their friends about, why doesn't this exist? Do you have this problem? Do you have that problem? And so from that, these new ideas come out. But the reality is, even more important than the new ideas are a few different factors. Number one, that's really, really important, is the real entrepreneurial qualities of the person that has this idea, right? Because as you all know, if you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working with IdeaPros, working on your own, there's so many issues, there's so many dead ends, there's so many roadblocks that you really have to be willing to get up and smile every morning, no matter how bad that day was the day before, because you know it's going to get better, and you know you're going to keep trying. If you don't have that resilience and that positive attitude and that never blame anyone attitude, you're not going to make it. So it doesn't matter whether the idea is good, great, bad, indifferent. You're just not going to get there because you don't have what it takes internally to turn your idea into something really good. So fundamentally, the character of the person with the idea is critically important, because anyone can attest, anybody that works with us even, and you get an unfair advantage working with us, it's grueling, it's painstaking. There's a lot of delays, there are a lot of roadblocks, there's a lot of times where we may have to engineer something 2 or 3 times. Even with app development, we'll get to a certain point and we find we can't do things, we have to change them somewhere else. You have companies like Google, Airbnb, that have taken a decade to become successful. And we point to those types of companies and go, wow, look at that, that was easy. No, it's not easy. It's really hard, it's crazy. And so you have to have that character set to be able to take whatever the idea is and turn it into something good. That's number one. The Tessa would have loved bullet point 4, right?
I do. I was like, man, there are bullet points. They're just in Fred's head. So number 1, you have to have a positive attitude and have an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, and you're a little bit crazy.
A little bit crazy and willing to run into walls, as Fred said.
Yeah. So then the next thing is you really need to understand the marketplace. Like, how big is the market? And is this market growing? You can have a really good idea in a really tiny market. Is it going to be worth pursuing that idea? If you have this niche that's so small that even if you dominated the marketplace, you get, your mother, your aunt, and 7 other people buying it because it's such a small marketplace. So the very, very critically important component of whether this is a good idea is what market are you going into? How big is that marketplace? So now that you establish the marketplace is a decent size, now you got to see, is this market growing? Is this market dwindling? Am I trying to sell typewriters just before computers are invented, right? So you need to understand the overall macro position of the marketplace. It's a good market. It's a big market. It's a growing market. You need to have all of those things to see if your idea is a good idea. Okay, so
I think, yes. So what's happening? What's changing? What can you be ahead of, or what's not being done very well right now?
Yeah, is the market going this way, or is the market going this way? Right. So every single marketplace that you go into is cyclical, number one, and has a life and death to it, as I alluded to typewriters, right? You can probably get a typewriter on eBay now, and some people think it's really cool. And some things make a comeback, like record players. But still, it's not a market you want to be in. It becomes a collector's item and something that's nostalgia, right? And that happens with everything. There's literally no product that doesn't go through that life cycle. Even now with automobiles, they've been around so long. This push towards electric vehicles has taken steam. Every major manufacturer is starting to do that. And probably in another 20 years, electric vehicles will be the main type of motor vehicle. That's a weird prediction on my part. I don't know if that's true or not. So, but it is trending in that direction, right? So the marketplace, in which way is it going? Big market, going upward. That's the next component. The third part is, can I get a piece of that market? Can I get a significant piece of that market? A lot of people look at a big marketplace and say, wow, that's a $100 billion marketplace. And if I get 1%, that's $1 billion a year we'll be making. No, nobody gets 1%, right? So you have to have something that is good enough to go in there and take significant market share. If you're looking to take 1% of a gigantic pie, you're going to get crushed. Maybe you'll make a little tiny dent for a few months, but then you're out of there. It's not sustainable when you have very, very large players that you don't have any way to compete against. So you need to look at who are the competitors in there and how well armed are they and how well do they provide the services that are needed by those customers. You could have really big players out there that have tons of money, tons of staff, a real ability to grow, but they're not doing things well. They're not doing things in the way that your new idea is going to revolutionize what's happening in that space. So you have to have that component as well. So when you have your great idea, first thing you do, Google, who are the competitors in this place? Who is it? What are they doing? Where are their, I've talked about this a million times. Where are their 1-star reviews? Is there any consistency? Is everybody, or a good portion of people that are leaving 1-star reviews saying, hey, I can't get this, I can't get that, they don't do this? find if there's this hole in that market, that's where you can play. And if you can do that, you can take customers away from very large organizations and end up being acquired by them in 2 or 3 years. So understand that competitive landscape and either be really happy that they're all weak players in there, or find really bad things that the big players are doing, and they're doing terribly, right? So you have to have one of those two things.
Right. And I have to be me being the nerdy person who wants to always provide the how. I just have to tell you that there is a lot of information on your competitors that's available through the internet. It's advertising transparency. You can see what your competitors are doing on Facebook for ads. You can see what their competitors are through tools like SEMrush or Href, I think is what it's called. So you can see a lot of this information without having to invest a lot of money. So go research your competitors, and once you found them, go dive deeper into how much traffic they're getting, how much are they spending in advertising. You can see a lot. So sorry, had to take the nerdy route for a second there.
And by the way, a little less nerdy, if they are public, they have to give all sorts of information in their quarterly reports, any type of significant news, they have to publish it. So if you're looking at public companies, you can get a wealth of information through their SEC filings, okay? But just like if you're going out to play a set of doubles tennis with your friends, their skill set, their weaknesses. You need to do that when you're going into business. If you don't know who you're playing against, you're not going to know how to win, okay? Next piece. You have to understand customers. Who are the customers? What are they paying for their solution right now? What are they going to have to pay for yours? And how are you going to get them to come over and stay with you and be loyal to your brand? In other words, what do you have that they're going to really want, that they're willing to give up what they already have to come to you? If you don't know that, if you don't know the answer to that, you're not going to get customers. The reality is that so many people just think, wow, I got this really great idea. I just put it on the internet. I put it on Amazon. Everybody's going to buy it. If you don't know how to reach your audience and convince them to buy it, nobody's going to buy it. Not because it's not a great idea, but because you haven't thought through the processes that you need to put in place to make that great idea be something that these people are going to want. Okay, so understand the customers, understand their needs, understand their frustrations, and figure out how your idea is going to address those frustrations.
Perfect.
Okay, and that leads me to the last section, I believe. That is the cost part of it. You really need to understand if you have something that people are paying $20 for to address what their problem is, and you have this amazing solution that's a lot better, but it's $200 instead of $20, the chances are people aren't going to take that much better solution. So you have to look at what you have, what it's going to cost to build, whether it's buildable, by the way, and whether it's protectable, and whether or not your customers are going to pay that kind of money for your new solution before you even think about whether this is a good idea or not.
I agree. I'm not gonna challenge that. I will say I don't usually challenge Fred, but I will say that customer surveys they come in handy for understanding on the exact landscape as far as what their pain points are, what they're willing to pay, and anything in terms of the bigger picture whole of your customer. In general, for us, that's where we go.
Yeah, and finally, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning to say that even if it's not a great idea, when you go through all these things, if you've addressed the marketplace and I've spoken about this as well, have found this hole in the marketplace, even if your idea isn't the greatest idea, If you have the resiliency, if you have the never die spirit, if you have that real entrepreneurial bone in you, even an idea that's not good that addresses that hole, it's okay, because you're going to go in, you're going to pivot, you're going to figure out that, you know what, that's not going to fill that hole very well. There's other ways to do it. And so even an idea that starts out as not being a really good one, as long as you've found the market it should go to, you're going to be fine, because you're going to do the things that you need to do to change that idea up so it becomes a great idea.
This is a really good list. Thank you, Fred. So I know we talked about having a positive attitude, that entrepreneurial spirit, and your own competencies, market size, and trends that are happening. The competitive landscape. I know I'm looking at my notes because he just gave me them. Understanding your customer and what their pain points are, and specifically how you're going to solve that problem. And is it affordable? Is it something that they're going to be able to pay for? Mm-hmm. And the last one that you said is that even if it's not a good idea, resiliency.
Look, when we decide to partner, and we have a lot of partners that come on Fridays, when we decide to partner with any of you, the idea is second to the person that we want to be our partner, because we know a lot of times, and you may have experienced this already, we have to sometimes dramatically change the direction of what this initial idea was. So if I know I have a partner that through thick and thin, no matter what roadblocks we run into, no matter how many times we're told, no, you know what, you can't do it that way, it can't be manufactured like that, we keep going and going. I mean, we have a couple that I can think of right now that we're actively working on. One is getting a licensing deal. The final solution that we came up with is way different than where we started. It addresses the same problem, but it does it in a completely different way than when we started. So it's more than just being resilient. It's being really open-minded, welcoming change, welcoming disasters, because they constantly happen when you're starting something and going from an idea to a finished product, whether it's an app or a physical product. So it's this. I think there should be a different definition for entrepreneur, and it's just like crazy people that are never going to give up until they get to where they want to go. And that's the type of spirit that you have to have. Those are the people that change the world. And if you don't have that, no matter how great your idea is, it's not going to go anywhere, because you need to have that. That's the fuel that's necessary to take a great idea and turn it into a great product and a great company that's going to end up making many products after that first one.
I think you did your final thought in that one as well.
I was thinking it as I put the period at the end of that statement.
You did. You dropped the mic. It was wonderful. I don't see any questions over on this side, but I do know that we see a lot of new first-time entrepreneurs over on our YouTube channel. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to take a second here to talk to you all in the chat. I'm going to let Fred go while I do that, because we don't have to hold him up. But Fred, thank you so much. I know we've missed you. We have a lot of people who have said they're glad you're on with us today and excited to see you here. You've just been really, really busy. That's about the...
And I was going to be on last week with Jay and Katie, who ended up stealing the show, I guess. But I think 15 minutes before I was supposed to be on, is it on this side? Yeah, right here. A whiteboard fell off and fell into the side of my head, and blood was gushing everywhere. So I didn't want to do that. But right now I got a little scar. But.
I know. And literally it was 15 minutes before. So we're like, okay, change of plans, everybody. But you guys know.
That's an entrepreneurial pivot right there.
It's true. And you just have to be okay with it. So we went with the flow. We had awesome Jay Benoit, who's actually on on the live in the comments right now. He was with us, and Katie, who was one of the contest winners from your Instagram contest. And so it's exciting to see all these entrepreneurs. So thank you guys all so much for being here. Fred, thank you so much. We'll see you. Actually, while we have you, can we get you to do an Ask Fred for next week?
It's not fair that you ask me in front of everybody. So I'll have to say no. Yeah,
we'll have to say, see, I have so many people who are like, I have questions for Fred. So I am doing it a little on purpose so you guys can steal him for one more week.
I'll stay away from whiteboards.
Away from whiteboards. If you guys have any questions that you want Fred to answer live, then put them in the chat here, or there's also a link to a question form that you can fill out, and we can answer your question through that as well. So thank you, Fred. We'll see you next week then. Thank you. All right, guys. So I see you all over there. Thank you so much. I see Sean, Cassiano, Jason, of course, Jay Benoit, who was on last week, Yadira, Kelly, Stephanie, Jim, Leticia. Thank you guys all so much. So let's see who else. Oh, we have some new ones. Erin, I am going to say your name wrong, but it's Airen. Good to see you. Hello. And wow, we have Redeem, Howard, Jim, another Jim, Joni, Bongo over there. Bongo's coming out soon. I'm excited about that. Alicia, a new entrepreneur over on our YouTube channel. I think I said Sean already, but I'm going to say it again. Sean, of course. He has lots of great things to talk about. And, oh, there we go. Okay, Ken over at CrashPad. So I have lots and lots of partners who are actually launching their products and apps right now. And I'm so excited to get them onto our weekly lives. We are going to highlight partners on a different time of the week and day of the week and time. And the reason why we're doing that is because we have a lot who are launching right now. So people like Sean Reed with Sage Scheduler. I'm going to go ahead. I found, there you go. Sage Scheduler, Sean Reed. We have Jared, who is going to be launching. Hey, yes. Happy 4th of July, Jared over at Ritual. We have Jay Benoit. We have, gosh, I see so many. Bongo for sure. Oh, excited to launch. And I'm sure I missed some people that are launching soon. I know we have, Stephanie has an app coming soon. I know that she was on here for a couple minutes. So guys, I'm just so proud to be able to show up for you guys every single week for entrepreneurs, whether you are a partner or not. We are so happy that you guys come. If you haven't already marked to get notifications, all you have to do is hit the bell when you leave the live. That way you get notifications when we go live. But even better, if you sign up to get notifications, we'll text you when we're going to go live. So it makes it super easy to just go right from your phone and go into the live with us, or catch the replay if it's after. We'd love to have you guys come book it on your calendar to show up with us at noon. And we are also doing a survey on times, days of the week and times that you guys would like to see. This Friday live can be at a different time and day. I know Sean is anxious for us to go later in the day. So if it's easier for you guys to attend at a different time of day, let me know in the chat. Tell me, is it a Monday? Is it a Friday? Is it a Saturday? I don't know. I'm pretty flexible. I'll make it happen for you guys. Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? We try to accommodate and make things work for you guys. We've been doing it at this time frame for almost 2 years now, I feel like, but I can change. I'm adaptable. So thank you guys. We'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful holiday. Please be safe. And then we'll see you guys next Friday for an Ask Fred. Don't forget, submit your questions and it will be he's so good on the fly, unlike me today. So thanks guys. Bye.